It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
Hey guys, how is it going? And welcome to the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. It is Tuesday, April 23rd, and so happy for you joining us. We are ready to start another day together with the Lord. So subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. So today we have an exciting podcast for you. We have Provi in the media, the practical word study, and of course commentaries, updates, and news on what is happening around the world in this history today. All right, everyone, how are you doing? Yes, it is Tuesday already. Hope you guys had a wonderful Monday. Hope you guys don't forget we have Q&A Thursday every single week, so get those questions ready. Send them to me whenever you can. And if you haven't yet, please leave a like and comment to build our community. Just very happy for everyone joining us every weekday on the Morning Star Drive. So let's get up and support each other each and every day. Now, this week's Sunday message title is, It Has Been Predestined for You to Prosper. And if you do it, it will work. So, I'm here in Korea. This is my third or fourth day over here. I've been here since Friday. And I hope you guys had a really good Monday and such. I'm still in Monday, but it's Monday evening, so my day is over. And I am still recording in a cafe because the place where I'm staying doesn't really have very good, internet coverage, right? So, and the one thing weird is I did get like phone service. Well, not phone service, just internet service for my time here in Korea. But for some odd reason, it doesn't do my hotspot. So it's really hard for me to record at the place I'm staying at the moment. But I am recording at a cafe, and I hope the background noise and music isn't too loud. There is music playing right now at the moment too. But just let me know if it's a little bit too distracting. The cafe I'm at right now, the cool thing is I'm using one of the rooms in the cafe. It's pretty empty right now too, but there is Sunseam's sign is in this cafe from 2019. That's March 30th. Oh no, April 30th, which means we're like 1 week away from April 29th. Sorry, April 29th is when Sunseam signed this. 2019. Wow. That's like 5 years ago. Almost exactly 5 years ago. Right? Wow. I think I'm trying to read what it says here. My eyes are pretty bad right now. It says like something. I think something is the title of it is something like I like it. Something about I like it that I know you. It looks like that's what it says. Interesting. Either way, it's interesting to see Sunseam's sign in this. I'm doing this podcast in a room with Sunseam's sign in it. So next time I should just take a picture and go over what this poem that Sunseam wrote for this person is too. But yes, I am in a cafe right now. For me, I'm very, very happy to be in Korea. Just meeting with Internet Ministry today. I was really happy because my friend lent me his car, so I'm not going to be, I have a way to get around, and I feel so much more comfortable that I'm not stuck. Like if you're in a place, you don't have a car, you're kind of just stuck in a certain place. So I'm very, very thankful that I am not stuck. I will be traveling from Wednesday, so quite excited about that too, going on a road trip. And I'm going to be also doing some volleyball clinics too and meeting newcomers also. So I'm very, very excited about that also. So far my trip here in Korea has been very, very graceful. And, the crazy thing is it's been super graceful. You guys heard the Malaysian member's story. His name is Adrian, right? So Adrian, you heard his story yesterday, all the craziness he went through just to get into the country and stuff. But I just heard right now, his story continues. So he left Monday morning, early morning. His flight was at 7:45. He got to the airport and, I booked the ticket for him and it's two different airlines. There's one airline going and a different airline coming back. But, some airlines include check-in luggage and some airlines don't. So his flight there included it, but his flight back didn't include luggage, okay? So he bought some gifts. He's bringing a ton of Wolmington water back. Or not a ton, but like maybe a liter or so. He's just bringing it back. There's some, he wants to drink this or maybe give it to someone. But I got it like early in the morning, in Monday morning. I missed a call from him. And what's happening is he's like this is what happened. He goes to check in and he doesn't have check-in luggage. His carrier, like his luggage is too big to be on a carry-on. And it's way too heavy because it's a 7 kilogram limit, but he's way over 7 kilograms, right? And so he gets to the desk. He found out that his ticket doesn't include luggage and his carrier is too big. So it's not just taking weight out of it, it's too big. So he has no credit card. He doesn't have any Korean cash on him. So here he is, stuck at the airport. He couldn't figure out what to do. All right. So what eventually happens is, he doesn't know what to do. He's just kind of like, he said he's at a point that he was giving up. Okay. Now, there's another member and JS and his wife, and they're also flying on the exact same flight. Okay. So what happened was the husband bought the ticket first and then the wife bought it a little bit later, right? So, they're not really sitting together and stuff like that too, but although they are sitting together because they bought seats together and stuff like that. And what was very interesting, I was talking to Richard. He's the guy, you'll see him in the comments below. He called me and just told me the whole story, and it made Adrian's trip even, like, you can just tell how much God really, really loves and blesses him. Like, he went to the extreme and back the entire tournament. Okay, so this is what happened. So Richard and his wife they checked in, everything else, and they bought extra luggage, right, to check in because they knew that, he's like, they're going to go shopping and the luggage is going to be much heavier. So he bought it for his wife's ticket, the extra baggage, right? Craziest part is, for some reason, when you're putting the luggage through, there's like this beep, beep, when he's going through security, right? So he goes through the security and there's an alarm that goes off and he's like, what's going on? And for some reason, he doesn't even know why, but the luggage was put on his ticket when it was actually supposed to be on his wife's ticket. So he gets it. He's like, oh, what's this? And he looks at the pass and the luggage, and he sees D6. So he's like, okay, so that means I need to go back to counter D6 to check out what's wrong with my bag. And he walks all the way over to counter D6. Like, he goes to aisle D, section D, and counter 6. And he's there and it's like, oh, wait a second. He re-looks at the pass again and he realizes it's not D6. It's actually saying DG. And he's someone that works in the industry and he knows that it just basically means dangerous goods. That's what he knows what it means. So he's like, oh, okay. So instead of going back, he's like, okay. So he went straight to the Air Asia counter to figure it out. And this is where, when he goes to the Air Asia counter, he sees Adrian and he said that the look on his face, like he was ready to cry. And it's mainly because he couldn't do anything. No credit card, no cash. The carrier's too big and he's just kind of sitting there like just ready to cry, not knowing what to do. And he just meets him there and says, oh, yeah, let me go take care of this for you. And he gives him, he pays for his luggage to get on. And and Richard was telling me, like, you know what? He's been in the industry. DG is like, he knows what that is. And he would have gone straight to Air Asia counter and probably would have missed Adrian, right? But since he went to counter D6 first and then to Air Asia, he's able to meet Adrian, right? And he's like, he looks so helpless and he's about to cry. And he's just there like, oh, let me settle it for you. And the dangerous good was like some type of souvenir lighter. And Richard was telling me he thought it was some type of toy that he bought, but it was actually a lighter, so it was considered a dangerous good, right? So it's this lighter souvenir. And, even when they told him, oh, it's this lighter, he says, yeah, you could just throw it away. Like, you don't even need it. He didn't even need a lighter, right? So he said, yeah, you could just throw that away. And it was just settled. And, it was very interesting because when Richard was telling me, if I didn't know that this was God's will, if I didn't know that I would meet Adrian, right, and be able to settle this luggage for him, he'd be thinking to himself, oh man, what did my wife buy now? Or, the wife would turn around and say, hey, why'd you have to buy this? And it's so easy to kind of get mad at each other. It's so easy when you don't know God's will. But Richard was telling me straight up, he's like, he said it was so incredible to see that, how blessed Adrian is and how much God is with Adrian, that he even makes these things happen where Richard is already checking in, going through customs, but has to go back and then coincidentally meets Adrian, settles everything for him too, right? And he said he was so inspired. It's like, wow, God is really, really blessing Adrian. And, he got the luggage for him. He's so moved too. He also bought him a premium seat in the front. And, and like he said, it's so easy to get upset, wondering why things are not working out. But you have to wait until the end. Because in the end, you'll see that this is from God. It's not from you. Buying that toy, right, that you thought was a toy, but it's actually a lighter, was God's will. That it was so much of God's will that even when they found the lighter, he's like, yeah, just throw it away. It wasn't even something necessary. And he's like, everything happens for a reason. And he said he was so moved, mainly because of the timing. The timing, so many things worked out for one member. I was just sitting there listening to these stories. I'm like, wow, he stole all my grace too. Like God is blessing him, giving all the blessings. So I think it was definitely a great trip for him and a lot of things for him to testify about too, but it just worked out. He called me. I didn't pick up. He called Richard because he knew he was on the same flight, but he didn't pick up. Called the wife, didn't pick up, and he's just stuck. He can't do anything, just sitting there wondering how he's going to get past. He's going to have to leave and throw everything away. So his trip did not, I didn't even know this, but his trip didn't even end there. And when you hear the full story, it's like, wow, God is really just setting things up so that, you can see how much God is working in his life. And, it's kind of like that story I told you about Sunseam is, it's God because it went to the point where Adrian could do nothing. The carrier's too big. He's got too much weight. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have a credit card on him to pay for this. And he's just stuck. And he reaches a point where he's, why would you cry at that moment? It's because there's nothing left to do. Everything's gone wrong. And, I think a lot of us reach that point where we're like, God, well, this is it. I'm done. It's over. But that's the moment when God meets us at the peak of the mountain and he says, here, let me take care of you. And you have no choice but to realize it was God. It was 100% God. So I was moved again. I really was moved again to see. I was really moved to see how God is working even at this point too. So guys, you can, inspiring, moving. I was kind of blown away. And I almost look at my trip like, oh, all right, God. So you basically took my blessings and gave everything to him. It's all about him. Fine. Huh. I don't get any blessings. But, of course, I got a ton of blessings also too. But yeah, amazing. Man, this guy has amazing testimonies and things to talk about also. So I hope it's something that he can testify about his situation, what his side was. But amazing, really. I'm inspired by it too, just listening to this part of the story too, because I was there for the first part in the airport, and then he gets helped by another member, coincidentally, who's already checked in, going to customs, and he gets helped by him too. So big thanksgiving to God for taking care of these members, especially this campus member who's worked really hard for this history too. So yeah, like I told you guys, I did meet up with the Internet Ministry Department. And I will be meeting them tomorrow again. So, if you guys have any more questions you want to ask, go ahead, put them in the comments below. But there is one question that popped up that someone asked me was, what does Sunseam really mean by the 1 million people, 1 million followers, right? Before, remember I told you guys before in the education there was something like the last thing he said before he went into custody is the grief he has if he, didn't preach or like have 1 million followers, right? So I talked to them about this and I say, hey, this is, what does he really mean by these 1 million followers? What did he really mean by it? And of course they said, we don't really 100% know what Sansim Shimjung is unless he himself explains it. But something they were saying was that the grief that Sansim has is that he was not able to preach to 1 million people, like he himself preaching to 1 million people, to be able to go out and preach to 1 million people that just, who are curious or who want to hear the word. And they said, and this is, since Sansim couldn't do it live himself, this is where internet ministry comes in, where even though Sansim truly wants to do it himself, at least we can become his body and preach the word to the masses like he wanted for the 1 million people. And if you think about it, it's really a sad thing. Like that's real grief. That's something that Sansim really wanted to do for God, that in his lifetime, to be able to preach to 1 million people. And I think, just like, think about this, how much grief there's grief that Moses had, grief that Abraham had, grief that Jesus had. Like all these central figures have this grief, this thing that is unfulfilled. And for Sansim, it's that, right? Knowing that he doesn't know when he's going to come out. But the grief he has that before he dies, he want to preach to 1 million people, that's something that we're able to help Sansim with. And we don't know when Sansim comes out, but if we can do this for him, or at least if he does come out at a certain time, that will have people, like 1 million people ready for him, I think that's something that we can do as the body of the Lord, right? So it's, I think just having a possibility of 1 million people that would want to at least hear the word or at least curious about who Sansim is and Sansim could preach to them, like that is kind of what we're looking at right now. And that's why the internet ministry becomes that huge, because if you do it person to person, it's impossible, right? Even the way that we're doing it right now, how many people do we actually meet? How many people do we are actually hearing the word? So, we were just discussing about, it's not so much getting 1 million like core members who've realized this history. Why? Because preaching is a little bit different, right? So, imagine just gathering 1 million people where Sansim can preach to them. And even though, let's just say 50, 60, even 70% don't listen, let's just say 70% are completely against it, they are open to listening to Sansim. And imagine if even 20 to 30% is 200,000 to 300,000 just right there on the spot, right? So it's not about getting like 1 million members. Of course, that'd be amazing though. But that 1 million to preach to is like these new people, these people that will hear the gospel, hear the word, they'll hear Sansim preach. And we have that role right now through internet ministry. Whether it's going to be Sansim, we make a good video of him preaching, or it's going to be Sansim himself, that's the one we want the most, right? So it was a very interesting and deep conversation. And, one thing that really did come up was we're just kind of talking about the general state of Providence at the moment. And one of the things we did talk about, because I talked about myself and my situation too, but we were all talking. The discussion was really deep when one of the pastors said, like, it seems that most people are more caught up in their own thoughts and in their own issues, when people should look at their problems and look at their issues and see what happened over the past year, and instead of just thinking about themselves, they should be realizing even more deeply about the Lord Shimjung. If it's that bad for us, it didn't even happen to us directly. But imagine what it's like for the one who it happened to, the one that's being slandered, right? The one that's being betrayed. So if you are going through this much, and it wasn't even done directly to you, we need to realize how much more Sansim is going through right now. And if we realize this, we can see past our own problems, and we can really realize the Lord's shimjung, God's shimjung, and overcome and do even more for this history. It's that at that time. It's like, think about it this way. It's when you get stuck in your own thoughts, we lose that feeling, and we kind of look like we're on our own, like, we wonder only about ourselves. But when you truly love someone, what happens when you truly fall in love with someone? You don't think about your problems. You just want to make them happy. You just want to make sure they're doing well. You think about the one you love and what they're going through. And that's what love truly is. And, one thing that we did talk about is look at the state of pre-dawn in churches. Like, how many people have lost the fire for pre-dawn? How many people are actually coming to pre-dawn? How many people are setting that powerful foundation for this history? It's when we know, but when we really realize or know how big the pre-dawn is, but yet it's the first thing we skip, or it's the first thing that Satan attacks. So we don't even do that. We don't realize how important this truly is. And that's kind of the first thing that goes. It's the pre-dawn. And, if you really think about it, Satan knows how powerful it is to the point where that's the first thing he attacks. And I was thinking even more. One thing that was kind of funny that one of the pastors was telling me was like, well, if you think about it, we've become like a mainstream church or mainstream religion, as in people just kind of going through the motions, right? People not feeling the service, people not receiving grace, right? And we talked about the state of praise. Has the praise, like the fire of praise, died out? Where people come to church and they just, when you go to the former faith, people feel so much grace from the praise. And of course, it's a little bit weaker when it comes to the word. Not a little bit, but it's weaker when it comes to the word. But people will come just for the praise, to feel God, to be in his presence, to get that grace. And we're so centered on the word, but we kind of need to find a mix, right? Where people can come to lose themselves in God while they're praising, for their hearts to open, for their hearts to be just truly, genuinely open wide, so that, wow, I can feel God right now at this moment. And I think that's one of the things when I was in the former faith, I enjoyed. I loved it so much, where I get lost in the praise. You get so lost in it, meaning lost in God, where I don't know where I am. My eyes are closed. My hands are in the air, and I'm just praising God, not caring who's around me, not caring who's looking at me. It's just praise. And I think that it's something, sometimes after going through a very, very difficult time, sometimes we just need grace. Wouldn't you agree? Sometimes we just need that grace. We just want to feel God. We just want to feel that God's love, God's strength coming into me, that hope, that living hope that just comes into my heart and says, yeah, this is it. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to take care of this. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. And I think sometimes those are the songs that really hit us in those moments, right? It's hard to praise how great the history is or sing about doctrine when you're going through such a difficult time. Where at that time, you just need grace. At that time, you just need to feel God's presence, and you close your eyes, you feel it in your heart. You don't care if anyone sees you crying. You don't care if anyone sees the tears come down your eyes. You don't care about those things. You're doing it because it's a connection just between you and God. We were talking about this, we got to get ourselves back into something, back into this zone, this mood, this zone, this atmosphere, so that people can kind of get that healing that they really need at this time. So, yeah, it was a very, very constructive conversation, but I hope it's something that I hope it's something that we can really, really open our eyes to a little bit more, and be able to, when we say get the mood for praise, I do think you need all the different things, like from the physical things. Like from the physical things, like one thing that I do think the form of faith does well is during praise, like the lights are a little bit dimmer and the spotlight is on the stage, right? And one of the things it does when it's physically darker is you are not as conscious about the people around you, but you're conscious only about God. Do you know what I mean? And when you have like like how you build the atmosphere plays a big role in praise too. And I think that's something that we really need. I think from my perspective, what I find about praise, that this is just from my opinion. I'm not going to say, I'm not saying this is for every country or whatever, but I'm just saying in general from what I see, it's like praise starts and it's like, hey everyone, hallelujah. So, let's make sure that God is here with us today and let's praise with all of our hearts. Amen. Amen. Tick, 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 da, da, da. And then the music starts and stuff too. And for me, because I'm coming from the former faith, and the former faith is like, they're at another level when it comes to praise. I do think that we're able to kind of even build that type of atmosphere also, and really able to make praise at a certain level where people are going to be like, yes, right? Like sometimes they have the synthesizer on and it's just playing one chord and you just hear that chord in the background and someone is testifying. Someone is talking about something that they went through. They're talking about the message. They're talking about something, or they just bring up something that connects everyone together, right? But it almost feels like a lot of times praise is like a written thing that they have to say, and it sounds like the right thing to say. But when it's written, I think one of the things that we lose a lot is the genuine sincerity. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a big difference between reading something that is written and saying something that comes from your heart. And I think the big thing is sincerity, like genuine sincerity. It's not read. And I think that's a big difference when it comes to us reading the message opposed from like saying the message from heart. And I think those are two different things. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too, what you guys think about what I just said when it comes to praise too. But if you guys have anything you want to add, please let me know. There's a lot of praise leaders and people out there that really are working hard and working well. And it's not about whether they did it right or wrong. It's more about getting it to a point where it's so natural, where it's so inspiring, bringing the mood and atmosphere for people to worship God in the right way, right? So that's just kind of my thoughts coming from the former faith too. And I do think it would be a good idea to get ideas. It's a good idea for praise leaders and such to go visit these large churches to see how they actually do it. It doesn't mean to copy. It means that you get ideas from it, right? So yeah, that's something that I would suggest. I do. And that's why I do visit churches. I see how they organize, even these huge churches with 3,000-4,000 people. I go check it out and I see how they organize. I go to their cell groups. I see how they organize it and stuff. And I see how they build community and how they build it in such a way where like, oh, and I'd be like, that's a great idea. Either way. So yeah, that's kind of this segment. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you have any questions or anything else, please let me know about this too. Okay, so let's just move into the first break of the day.
Yeah, Providence represents Sierra Leone, West Africa. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. 'Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. 'Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. 'Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture time has come, and I will live happily with our family. 'Cause we realize wonderfully. The rapture time has come, and I will live happily with our family. 'Cause we realize wonderfully. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. 'Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has come. The rapture time has
the time of the rapture. Our spirit needs to rapture. We enter history together in this mission. We receive the new words, we receive the good words through the man of mission that receive the vision, that receive the wisdom and get all the passion. And get all the passion in this mission. Cause our God is a God of life, not a God of death. The providence is to make sure we represent. To become a bride who listens to the word of right. Come on, now there is the word of life. There is the word of life. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come.
The rapture's time has come. If you're still waiting, ladies, it's better hear this one. Christ has come to the man on mission. Some sound hit was what and take action. You live in abstract, you better wake up and take this mission and stop. Let's move, come on, let's set this fall. Cause us this vision we must fulfill it.
The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come.
Because of the rapture now we are in joy. So never for life to be destroyed. So now I can say, so now I can say, so now I can say, we live in joy, we live in joy. So now I can say, we live in joy. So now we are raptured.
The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come and now we're living happily with our family. Cause we realize wonderfully. The rapture's time has come and now we're living happily with our family. Cause we realize wonderfully. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. The rapture's time has come. Cause the bridegroom has come.
Okay, so let's get into today's word study. And every Tuesday we do have the practical word study. I hope you guys are enjoying this section too. How can we put the words of God into action, or what are things that we can do to take steps to put the words of God into action? Sometimes it's about changing a mindset. Sometimes it's about the mentality. Sometimes it's something we can physically do. This week's message seems a little bit more conceptual because it's about the heart and the thoughts and stuff like that too. And one part of the message that really came and hit me was, it said that people fail because they fail to control their hearts. And Sunsim actually named 4 different things that we can't control. Number 1 is anger. Number 2 is rage. Number 3 is ignorance. And number 4 is feelings, right? So I did want to go over those 4 different things. And, these 4 different things seem to be the things that are making us fail. Right? So let's start off with the first one, which is anger. And anger, I believe, it's close to the first Cain's personality, which is hot temper, right? So getting angry really quickly or fast. But anger is something that is talked about in Cain's personality. It's a thing that, that made Cain kill his own brother. And anger is something, anger is triggered by something inside you, something you're sensitive to. And when someone touches something that is sensitive, you kind of are like, you snap. It triggers something and you get really angry and the emotions just flare up. And the one thing I do want to kind of bring up first is, Sunsim does say that there's such a thing as godly anger or righteous anger. So what does that mean? It means that there are things you should be angry about. Yeah, you should be angry. That's what Sunsim actually said. Emotion is not something that is wrong. It is when there is the wrong reason to be angry, right? When people are getting angry over petty things. When people don't love each other, they get angry. When people are when they haven't made their characters, they kind of get angry at each other when they don't need to, right? So it's not everything we should be angry about, but there are some things. If anger itself was a bad thing, then God would be a sinner because God gets angry in the Bible too, right? So the difference is, what are we angry about? So many things we get angry about is small, it's petty, it's unimportant compared to what we should truly be angered about, right? So being angry is something, like I would say, like a good rule of thumb is if you told someone why you got angry, every single person will understand that I would be angry too. Like for instance, if someone strikes your child, would you be angry? I'd be like, hell yeah. If someone hit my kid, I'm even angry if someone hits a member. But if someone hit my child, I would be angry. And if someone else said that someone hit their kid, I'd be like, who is he? You know what I mean? Like we would be understandably angry. If someone strikes your mother or your wife or someone tries to like murder someone in your family, just even taken to these extremes, you think that it's okay. I think it's not okay to be angry. Like if you weren't angry, I think that's not okay. Like there's a problem with you. And no one would blame you because they see it as righteous anger, right? So I would say that, there are some things that everyone would agree with, that being angry is okay. It is okay, right? And they wouldn't blame you because they see it as righteous anger, that everyone should be angry about it. So I think the things that we need to look at ourselves is, what are the things, look at yourself and think about what are the things that you are sensitive to. Do you know what I mean? What are the things that you get really sensitive about? What are the things that if someone says something, it triggers you? And I think these are things, once we can at least figure what those things are, you are able to not get rid of them. Well, you could get rid of them or control them better is if you're actively praying about it. And one thing you do need to know is, like I'll talk about this, prayer has already been researched so much to the point where people who pray just 15 minutes a day, what happens is they have less depression, lower blood pressure, lower suicide, lower depression rates. Like that's how big prayer is. So if you can find those things where you realize I am super sensitive to this, then you can really pray about those things. You can be very deliberate. Because if you don't really think about what triggers you, then you're just going to get triggered and you're just going to get angered. But one of the first steps is kind of like when you go to, when you have an addiction or a problem, the first thing you have to do is admit that you have a problem. But if you don't even know, if you're an alcoholic, but you don't know that it's alcohol, you're just going to keep doing it because you have no idea what you're addicted to. So in the same way, look at your anger. What are the sensitive things that really trigger you? What are the things that make you really, really angry? Some people are like really angry because someone's late. Some people are really angry because of this or that. And that's something I do think that we have to think about very, very carefully in our lives too. What are the things that trigger us? And don't just think about it. You have to go and pray about it. Ask God for help. Ask the Holy Spirit to calm your heart in those situations. So anger is the first one. Second one is rage. And I thought to myself first isn't rage the same, isn't it the same thing as anger, right? And when I actually look at the dictionary, it's different. It is violent and uncontrollable. Okay? Violent, uncontrollable anger. So rage is kind of like the next step after anger. Violent and uncontrollable, right? So you see that your anger, when you have anger, it may not lead to physical violence, but it's more like it's probably like mistakes that you make, or you say the wrong things, or you punch or break something that you shouldn't do, whatever it is, right? But rage goes into uncontrollable, violent anger, right? And this is something that seems to be something so far beyond anger because it's uncontrollable. At least when you're angry, you probably still have some type of boundaries, but it looks like when it comes to rage, you lose control of even your boundaries, right? It's so far beyond anger, and it's violent. It's physically hurting, or cannot control yourself from stopping, and your anger you're out of control. And I am not sure how many people actually have that. I'm not sure. You guys can tell me if you guys have it, which I doubt. But that is something that we have to look at and say, whoa, do we have that? Right? And that is something that I don't think many people actually have, like to that level. I don't. I don't really think so. But if you do, that's one of the reasons why people fail. And I would say that even from yesterday's message, Sunseem even said that it's that one mistake you make that changes your entire destiny. Just like if you kill someone in that instant rage, when you drink and drive in that instant rage, right? Or something that happens, yeah, it's going to change your life. You're going to go to jail, and you can't be the same as you were before, right? The third one was ignorance. And I think this is a hard one too, because a lot of people don't know what they don't know. Which it's kind of funny, right? You don't know what you don't know. And I think that's something that we have to look at, right? So I don't know what I don't know. And I think the best way to fight ignorance is to be curious and someone who wants to learn. And that's number one. Remember, in 2005, around there was 70 things leaders should be equipped with. Sunseem gave this 70 things. He gave how many lectures were 7 or 8 different lectures, right? For leaders. What are 70 things you should be equipped with? Number one is leaders must learn. It's the best way to fight ignorance. And we're never going to be 100% over ignorance, because there's always something we don't know, which means be curious and learn. Be curious and learn. And this is the best way to fight ignorance. It's the one that thinks that they know is the one that turns their ears off to truth. That's a proverb right there, right? I'm kind of making it up as I go. If you think you know it, then your ears are turned off from the truth. And I think one of the things that Sunseem said is the biggest realization we can have is that we know nothing, right? And we should want to know. Be curious and learn. You have to want to know. Right? You got to want to know. And that's the way to defeat ignorance. Last one is feelings. And I think this is something that all of us can kind of see from last year. Many people, many emotions, a lot of people that we knew left, a lot of people that we knew slandered, a lot of people were saying this and that, and these are all people that we knew, right? And this leads us, when you follow your emotions, it leads us to make the wrong decisions, right? To believe in the wrong things, to think in the wrong way. This is what happens when we're led by our emotions. And like I said before, the greatest way to control ourselves is prayer. Prayer calms us down. And like I said, all the statistics, people who pray 15 minutes a day brings our heart rate down, helps our blood pressure, helps depression, helps with suicide. All the statistics show that people who pray at least 15 minutes a day are lower in every one of these categories. And when you think about it, prayer brings us to the right place. We are calm. We are ready to do things the proper way. And it's kind of like what Sunseem said in the message a couple weeks back. Put your foot on the brake, absolutely. Don't go any further when you shouldn't, right? So I hope that's something that we can really take to heart also. So that's kind of the first thing that I was thinking about. The second thing I thought about from the message was, the message says that we always live in the way that fits our heart and our mood, right? So if your heart and your mood is not to live according to God's will, then your destiny will go that way. So you ultimately receive according to what you've done because you lived accommodating your own self, your own moods without thinking about the past or about the future. So that's kind of interesting, right? You live accommodating yourself and you don't think about the past or the future. And I think it's really interesting because it says what is true is we live according to the ways that fit our heart and our mood. And that determines our destiny. You live accommodating yourself only. And then it says you don't think about the past and future. So what does that mean? I was thinking about what does it mean you live accommodating yourselves only, not thinking about the past and future? Well, that only means that you're leaving one thing. You're only thinking about one thing, which is the present right now. So if you forget the past, you'll realize that what you feel right now is nothing and has led to more emptiness. So you cannot forget the past of what you've gone through until now. Because in the past, you'll realize I tried this, but it still led me to emptiness. So you got to learn from the past. The past is there so we can learn from. But if you only think about the present, you still make the same mistakes over and over and over again without remembering the past. Now the future, what happens if you don't think about the future? The future is so important because it's about where you actually want to be. People who are looking only at what they feel right now will end up spending their money without any savings for the future. People who look at the present only will give up what is worth millions if they just hold on to it for the future, but instead give it away for nothing now so that they can get something small for right now, right? It's basically like the battle of the spirit and the body. What we give up for our body so that our spirit can be better, right? Yeah, it's not going to be good for your body, right? Sometimes it's not good for your body, whether it's sleep, food, entertainment, the things that we want. But we have to realize is we give it up for the spirit for the sake of our future, right? What is it that we want so badly that it is that important that will change your destiny for the worse? Is there anything worth that? Really? Something that's going to change your destiny for the worst, right? So for me, I looked at that. I was like, for me, it's true. Sometimes we are always sacrificing things for the future, right? We're sacrificing it for the future. So I would say that it is something that we have to look at, something that we have to understand and really bring ourselves to that level, right? But yeah, that's what it is. We're only doing things according to our mood and what our heart wants. And if you live according to, if your heart doesn't want to do God's will, that's what you're going to do because that's the way you live. It fits your heart and your mood, which means we ultimately have to bring ourselves to fitting God's will, right? And I know that many of us have been there before, have really wanted to just live for God's will. And it's something that we have to take into consideration more and more each and every day. All right. So I found it to be, there's a lot of things that we can think about and do for this history and what we want to do and what is our mission for this history also. Okay. So yeah, that's a practical word study for today. I hope it's something that you guys enjoy. If you have any questions or any comments, just leave it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. So that means let's get into the second and the last music break of the day.
When I look at you, it's like I got the whole room on the tip of my finger, and I'm pointing it right back to you. When I look at you, it's like I got the whole universe, the whole universe. Never thought that living could be easy, so you taught me right from wrong. Now I'm free to be full of love, full of hope. I'm empty of all things. Now I'm living to make everyone come follow me. This is a life worth living that I know. If I love someone else, what would he give me though? It's like I'm floating on clouds, my feet don't touch the ground. Life with you is like heaven, look at what I found. You said believe in me, don't change and then you'll see a life that lasts for all eternity. And I will never live to have any regrets. I know you're the best, I'll step to the west, I'll follow behind you step by step. Just like the stars above, we shining, shining. Look at the world, in my hands the universe is mine. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. Just like the stars above, we shining, shining. Look at the world, in my hands the universe is mine. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. When I look at you, it's like I got the whole room on the tip of my finger, and I'm pointing it right back to you. When I look at you, it's like I got the whole universe, the whole universe. You said believe guide you step by step. Just like the stars above, we shining, shining. Look at the world in my hands, the universe is my net. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. Just like the stars above, we shining, shining. Look at the world in my hands, the universe is my net. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. It's yours, can't escape from the love, it's yours. When I look at you, it's like I got the whole room on the tip of my finger, and I'm pointing it right back to you. When I look at you, it's like I got the whole universe, 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 the whole universe.
Okay, so let's get into our final segment for today. And of course, this is Provi in the media. There isn't a lot actually to report, but there is one thing I forgot to report from the last trial for Sunstein. And it's just something I think it's a very, very important fact. I did read it, but I wasn't actually sure what it meant. But I forgot to report it. But in the last trial, the judge said, so this is very, very good news for us. I just, I got more details about it. Is in the last trial, we were not able to copy the audio file from Maple. Remember that audio file that we took the forensics for, and it said that it was fake and stuff? I think it makes a lot more sense to me now that since we are not able to copy it, we're probably taking it or extracting it from like Netflix or something like that, right? Which means that it's not even the copy that the court has. And it's hard to say that, we took this, we extracted it from somewhere else, another source, and we found it to be fake, which means that we could have altered it too, right? Which means that now that we have the copy of the audio file from Maple and the court's allowed us to copy it, it means we can finally do true forensics on it. And it's something that we can show the court 100%. So, since we weren't able to do it the first trial, it kind of makes sense now because I was very curious in the past, like, wait, if we have the forensics for this file and we're seeing that there's like, it's something that is not trustable, that it's fake, then why wouldn't the courts take it? But it makes a lot more sense to me now when I heard what they allowed from this trial. So it makes a little bit more sense to me now why the court would, like, it doesn't seem like it was a valid thing to use for the courts. But now it's like, okay, so now we have that file. We can really, really go into it and say, hey, this is the file. I want you guys to do that 3-month forensics on this like they did last time and tell us what you actually think about this file that is the actual copy, right? So that's kind of the big thing, and I think that's a huge push for us. And it's, it's hopeful, but I don't want to sit there and say, we're going to win. Of course not. But we got to pray even more. So let's push ourselves to really make it to the next level in prayer for Sunstein, prayer for the situation, his lawyers, for all the judges, and making sure that all the evidence comes to light and more of this becomes public. Right? I even saw, like, they were showing me that we also had a TV program that was played showing our side. And I'm gonna get sent a link for it too, but it seems like very, very promising that we are having a little bit more exposure out there too of the things that went wrong with this trial also. And I'm really, really just hoping that people will listen to these programs and see that it was very, very unfair trial. Okay, so that's kind of all I have for the Provi in the media. There's nothing really big out there yet, but that was a big thing that I missed from that trial that just went on last week. Okay, so there's, guys, that's Provi in the media. Hope you guys really enjoyed that, just that update on what's going on. And if you have any questions or anything else, please leave them in comments below. And I am meeting Internet Ministry again tomorrow, so if you have any more questions, please leave them for me. I would love to hear what you guys think about any more questions that you have about Internet Ministry also. Okay, so there it is, guys. That is today's Tuesday podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have an amazing and awesome Tuesday, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly, so let's realign. Just listen